So yeah, so Rain did her due diligence. Y'all know Rain like a little sniper on the back end. So Rain was able to provide some information that I think is gonna really allow us to close out tonight's town hall really with a like a cliffhanger almost, kind of
Mhm.
giving us a better understanding of how some people are looking at this thing. So you want to give them a rundown of what it's gonna be about, Rain, before?
So, People Magazine came out with an article that basically says that Jackson County coroner, that's in Mississippi, that's where Nolan Wells is in Mississippi, said that there have been no recorded drowning deaths at Horn Island in the last 6 years. Um, that doesn't mean that there's no drownings that happen in the area. Of course, there was one at Pettis Boys Island in the same time period, and a teenage girl was taken in critical condition to the hospital from Dolphin Island back in 2022. But of course, with all the questions surrounding his death, it being a drowning and whatnot, and yes, we've had those reports of it's a washing machine effect out there. The current is different whenever it's around the island and whatnot. Some people know how to navigate the current, some people don't. And it's a death trap, that they say. But here, and Hype News is gonna bring it all together. But they're saying that there's have been no official recorded drowning deaths on Horn Island in at least the last 6 years.
But
Not
also,
saying that it
guys,
didn't happen, but
also they talk about who they seen Nolan with too.
mm-hmm.
I brought this up before. Everybody keep talking about girls. Girls, 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 girls. I do it. Yeah.
Reporting live from Hyperschool Left Right Plus News, I'm Janaba. Breaking news coming out of Mississippi. Key information connected to the case of Nolan Wells has now broken online and is adding to ongoing speculation. In an exclusive finding from People Magazine, it has now been revealed by a Jackson County official that Horn Island has not seen any official drownings in the past 6 years, according to the coroner's office. In the People Magazine exclusive, it goes on to read, despite the current and deep water around Horn Island, echoed in the concerns of some locals, data obtained by People indicates that recent drownings there are rare. The Jackson County coroner said that there have been no recorded drowning deaths at Horn Island in the last 6 years. An official tells People in response to an open records request. For some, this is extremely interesting given that many have suspected foul play was involved, and that the sheriff's department originally suspected Wells' death to be an accidental drowning, which would anger many since an official autopsy was not completed when that statement was made. So if there has been no drownings on Horn Island in 6 years, what are the chances that Nolan just so happened to experience this unfortunate and, from the gathered information, rare incident? In that same exclusive, it will go on to share that drownings have occurred on nearby islands, but again, nothing on Horn Island where Wells was last seen alive. Now, at the top of this case, many have shared their theories of Nolan possibly drowning, with some accusing a potential part of the island being known for rip currents. But viewing where many were positioned in the water that day, it's been hard for some to believe that Wells could drown in water that's waist deep. Now, one user on TikTok, and who is also a retired officer, would be on Horn Island on July 4th and confirmed seeing Wells that day, and would go on to reveal in a post that Wells not only seemed okay, but everyone was in waist-deep water. Pictures from his post would also go on to confirm this. Now, a user would first go on to ask, can you confirm if there's phone signal on the island? In which the user would go on to say, maybe one bar on the south side of the island. You can maybe get text messages. We walked the entire island on the 4th. And yes, we saw Nolan earlier that day, but before these pics were taken. He was with a group of white girls who appeared to be around his age. The only reason I remember is my wife said he was one of the former Ocean Springs football players. He did not seem to be impaired by any means. This was also 12 or 1-ish. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Nobody brings their phones off the boats. I did because I wanted to take some pics. Most people are in waist deep water. It's a tragedy either way, but I hope no foul play was involved. But if it was, he needs justice. So much misinformation. Leaving your phone on the boat is common practice at the island. No docks there, so you have to wade to the beach. Every boater, when time permitted, washes their boat and flushes it, especially when leaving salt water, as soon as they get home. His Snapchat would not be used if he didn't have his phone. His mother said he would not leave his friends. We saw with our own eyes he was not with his friends. He was clearly interested in one of the girls. Nobody knows the whole story, but hopefully they will get to the bottom of it. It was also a very family-friendly environment on the beach. Numerous families with small children. If something nefarious happened, it wasn't on the beach. Boats were parked too deep on the island. It would be easy to lose sight of someone behind one of the boats, and the water drops off pretty quickly in some spots. I'm retired law enforcement and worked federal and state investigations. Nothing is off the table. He had 2 autopsies, and the toxicology takes a little while. I have faith in the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Everyone sees Mississippi as this backwoods racist place. It couldn't be further from the truth, at least here on the coast. Either way, I feel there is a lot of misinformation being spread, even blatant lies by racist people, white and black. Unfortunately, this is the way of the world. I hope this sheds some light on that day on the island, sending prayers to his family and friends who are affected by his tragic loss. Now, over on Instagram, on Thursday, D.L. Hughley would further push against claims that Wells drowned, as he would go on to share a video of a woman taking the stance against those who continue saying that Wells lost his life in an accidental drowning. For his caption, Hughley would go on to say all this.
He was on an island that was very populated with a lot of people. Let's just talk fundamentals of basic common sense, okay? If he drowned, at what point did he drown? And did no one see him drowning? And if he did drown, how and why did he drown? Do we think that he was just like out there and he fell in the water himself and just suddenly couldn't swim and drowned? Do we think he just went for a swim and the rip current took over? I'm asking. Because if you're so convinced that he drowned, how did he drown? I get that drownings happen. How did he drown alone where no one saw him drowning? Because no one's reported him drowning or seeing him drown or even seeing him struggle. And I want to say he has to be a good swimmer because they did mention a pool party too that he attended. So I don't think that he would like go on a boat and go to a pool party if he couldn't swim.
Now, that same woman later on in her video will go on to predict that Mississippi officials will attempt to get the outcome they want in this case, with a potential uproar to soon follow. Now, despite many pushing back against drowning theories, there are some, however, who still believe that him drowning is very plausible.
I can tell you for a fact, Nolan is not the first person to pass away, or even the first person to pass away on the 4th of July. Been several people who have passed away from accidental drowning off of Horn and Ship Island. The majority of the time, it's from people having some liquid courage, jumping off a boat into the water and it being too shallow, or falling off and hitting their head, becoming unconscious. One person, I think it was a 17-year-old, fell off, hit his head, became unconscious, and his friends were right there. Tried to find him, couldn't find him. Didn't find him, I don't think, till the next day. Similar to Nolan. Drowning is silent.
Now, as far as the latest, yesterday would mark Wells's 19th birthday, in which his friends and family would participate in a prayer vigil for the young man. The comments below, upon hearing that Horn Island has not had any reported drownings in 6 years, does this add to speculation that foul play was involved? Reporting live from Ivy Club, 5 Plus News.
Unmute.
There we have it there. That was just a quick little rundown of like thoughts of other people, people who were still seeing them. So I'm gonna give you guys, can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. He said y'all. Okay. We're gonna add this to the stage here. Gonna make it bigger. Let's go over here, Rain, so everybody can see it. So this right here is the DA this is for Mississippi, right?
From Angel Myers. Yeah,
I'm gonna let Rain read it because y'all know I'll be leaning in even with glasses on. I still can't read it. So.
Okay, I'm gonna put. You can leave it right there, but I'm gonna make it big on my screen over here on this side. So she sent this letter out on the 18th because a lot of people are still like, hey, where's the information at? She says, as district attorney, I do not have the same freedom to share information publicly that private individuals may have. For example, I do not have the freedom to release letters I've sent in this investigation, discuss witness cooperation, or the testing of evidence. I do not have the freedom to identify what information is verified and what information is false. I do not have the freedom to publicly adopt a narrative and choose one fact over another, nor do I control the information released by private individuals who are not part of the investigative team. I cannot control whether private individuals release letters they have sent to me, just as I cannot prevent them from releasing letters I've sent to them. I cannot control which facts or bits of information are shared or whether that information is being shared in context, twisted, or misconstrued. Public commentary does not make the speaker transparent, just like exercising restraint consistent with the law does not make the process corrupt. The fact that something is said does not necessarily mean it's actually true. Prosecutors are held to the highest ethical standard under the law, as we should be. The people we serve deserve no less. I understand that a void is perceived when some are speaking publicly about a matter while others do not. I would be stepping outside the bounds of law if I were to fill that void and share information publicly. With all the public pressure being placed on my office, filling the void would only serve to get pressure off of me. Nolan deserves better. There is no pressure that can be placed on me and no force that is greater than the weight of the oath that I took and my responsibility to the people I serve. My obligation and commitment is to present the grand jury with all the evidence collected in this case in order for them to reach a decision based on a thorough investigation, complete evidence presentation, the actual truth, and an understanding of the law. I am obligated to do so in keeping with the law and the rules of the court. On July 23rd, 2026, I released a recorded statement explaining the process and what the people of Jackson County should expect in this matter. There is nothing more to be shared at this time. I caution the public about assigning trustworthiness to things they read and see online. I also ask that rather than those individuals demanding that I step outside the bounds of the law and make public statements, we all step back, allow the process to work, and allow us to do the job that we were elected to do. I stand firmly on the rule of law and my ethical obligations. That is what the people of Jackson County elected me to do. I will present the grand jury with a thorough, complete, and fair investigation into the death of Nolan Wells.
Yeah. I mean, she literally, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like, it's very unique because everybody started their emotional rants off of the one thing that started. When everybody felt the sheriff shouldn't said anything, that's when everybody started running with their narrative.
Mhm.
Prior to that, everybody was good to go, right? Everybody was kind of letting things play out. But once people got the information that didn't sound like what they wanted it to sound like, that's when everybody really started like honing in on like what they heard or what they seen, things of that nature. But again, guys, here at the town hall, man, we're just here to bring you information that continues to trickle out, information that's coming. They did subpoena the CETO call this week, which I don't even know how good that's going to be. Everybody already heard 6,000 versions of that too. So everybody gonna feel like if something comes out and it don't sound the same, everybody gonna feel like that's fake news too. So we're at a point now where we have allowed every platform to create a narrative, and everybody's gonna follow that narrative, whatever narrative makes you feel better at the end of the night. So that's kind of where we are when it comes to the case of Nolan Wells, and it's unfortunate because Jay Lloyd said it. Everybody says it about him, man. You could just look at him and tell he was a great kid. Like everybody has something great about him. All the videos I still see on TikTok of friends finally putting out like videos and prom, and like he was just a life of the party doing funny TikToks at school with the teachers, and like he was just a great kid, man. And no one's never gonna remember about the greatness of him anymore. It's gonna always be about this story.
Yeah.
As we mentioned before, my biggest thing is this is every time we hear someone, everybody talks about females, but there's really hasn't been any females that people have questioned or really brought upon. He said, yeah, Precious. Yeah, like he like for real, for real. So again, man, prayers to Nolan Wells, man. Justice for Nolan Wells, because we do want to see justice. We do want to see the answer. I feel like for me, it's all about knowing what's correct, what's the answer.